No, it's very traumatic.
Well, absolutely. It should not be a political issue. It should be an issue that we're dealing with real people, real people's lives. We're losing people, hundreds and thousands of people each and every year. And we've got to fix it. And by allowing people to openly use drugs and having this decriminalization, it's a failed experiment. Yeah. Look to what's happened in Oregon. We should learn from them and learn what they're planning to do in September. I think we should be replicating that.
They've reversed course.
100%.
All right. Linda Annis from the city of Surrey, city councillor there in Surrey, BC. We appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's a lot of people agreeing with what the councillor has to say, that this is a progressive policy that has not worked. It has gone too far, and we're seeing more people use drugs openly because the fear of being prosecuted has gone away in some cases. Many people in the field will tell us in the media, when we do stories on this, that the drug problem is not limited to people who are on the streets. We often in television will go shoot an area where people are using in the streets, often around, in many cases, around a homeless shelter. And they've reminded me many times that addiction happens in the suburbs as well. There are just as many people using drugs, hard drugs, in the suburbs, in homes, in jobs. It's not just people on the street. Complexities of this issue are the fact that that is what many people see as they try to head to work.
That's good for you. Keep it to yourself. Like, people don't need to hear that shit. Especially people don't need to see that shit either. Oh, my phone died. Watching someone shoot up is a very traumatic experience. Especially when they miss. A lot of blood. And it's fucked up because they'll start laughing. But, most people that I know who still do heroin are not dying. And that's not the drug problem anymore. The opioid problem is not the main concern anymore. The problem is something called TINA, which is a type of crystal meth. And it makes people have fucking psychotic episodes. But you're hearing about all these femicides, and I think it's just people who are doing TINA who have a psychotic episode. No, I haven't had a friend that died from the opioid problem in quite a while, but TINA is like, I don't know what the fuck is in this shit, but it makes people have psychotic episodes to the point where they fucking beat their girlfriends to death. It's actually crazy. I have a police report that I got a hold of, and it's a guy beat his best friend to death with his bass guitar while his friend was sleeping. He doesn't know why. And then he chopped up his body and put it in garbage bags all over the city. Like, I didn't hear about this on the news. Fuck, like, some crazy hard shit. Very sad. fucking laundry out.
Our Desormo offers a mortgage rate of just 3.99%. That's right, 3. It's boasts the largest size in the area, with amenities like a spa and children's park. Secure your dream home today at 3.99%. Learn more at condosbaldwin.ca. Conditions apply. Limited time offer. Visit sales office for details.
I'm fed up of waiting for my surgery.
You know, it's possible to have your operation in Quebec without any delay. For easy access to specialized treatments in urology and sexual health, you'll be in safe hands at Clinique Marois. Call now or visit cliniquemarois.com.
At Hydro Solution, we install water heaters, stations, and even heat pumps. That's how we roll. We get it done. Get
Here's
it done
an
as
idea.
in we
Stop
deliver.
fucking
We
people
install,
that you don't
we
know.
remove, we screw in, we strengthen, we measure, we level, we pet your dog because he's so cute. We unplug, we reconnect, we assemble, we calibrate, we adjust, we test, we fasten, we pick up, and we only leave once
Not
all
going
the
well.
work is done. Hydro Solution. We run, we sell, install. We get it done. All of it.
We need to
Silver and gold for
stop
cash will
having
pay the
sex with
best
people.
rate.
Like,
Guaranteed for all unwanted or broken jewelry. They'll beat all competition. And you'll receive cash or a check for your gold and silver on the spot. Go to Sancho Leonardo.
apparently, I'm the only one who's not hoeing, not stealing,
Are you a first-time home buyer? Unsure of the
not fucking doing Xanax, apparently, or ketamine.
And we're here to simplify the process.
With personalized guidance, we'll
I want to
navigate
keep
the
my
lenders,
bladder
paperwork, and
intact.
important decisions together.
Enjoy Fred and Martin's expert personalized service at no cost.
Smoking the
Visit
fucking pipe was just
fredandmartin.com, where
crazy to
first-time
me.
buyers become happy
Like,
homeowners. Fred and Martin
that was
Mortgages.
like a well-known thing that cracked whack.
Are ready to help you today.
Wednesday on CTV,
Wait,
there's a new panelist on The Masked Singer. That was incredible. And all new secret superstars.
Behind the mask.
Get into the new episode of The Masked Singer. Wednesday night, only on CTV.
Almost fucking tripped on your ball jack.
This is the voice of Montreal.
CJAD 800. Welcome back to the Bashi Capello Show on the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
If you like politics, it's never boring at the Ontario legislature. It's certainly not a boring day today. This morning during question period, there was a bit of a verbal brawl, if you will, over the keffiyeh. This is the scarf worn by many people to support Palestine.
Oh yeah.
The speaker made a ruling that it was that it was banned from the legislature, and all parties apparently condemned that. And now we've got a big brouhaha. That's the technical term over it. Robert Benzies, Queen's Park Bureau Chief, he joins us on the line. It got pretty messy this morning, Bob?
It sure did, Graham. So the keffiyeh is the black and white scarf that you see a lot of protesters at the pro-Palestine rallies wearing.
Yeah.
It's a traditional cultural garment that has kind of taken on a more political feeling since October 7th. When Hamas attacked Israel, and then, of course, Israeli forces have responded in Gaza, and it's been a deadly conflict on both sides. And Ted Arnott, the Speaker of the Legislature, who's like the referee of the House.
Whatever happened to the tunnels?
He ruled a while ago that since October 7th, this has become much more of a political thing, that you would need to get unanimous consent if anyone would wear it. And this, lest anyone think that Palestinians are being singled out, you couldn't go in wearing an Israeli sweater or a Ukrainian flag or
a sign of any kind.
Yeah, any sign of any kind. Even something even more innocuous like a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey because they won last night, Graham, of course.
I saw
No
that.
one in Ottawa will have watched.
Really?
There's playoff.
You're gonna talk about the hockey game.
But you would need a unanimous consent to wear a hockey jersey, for example, and that's often thought.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
Team, the Peterborough Petes or the Kitchener Rangers or something like that wins. They say I'd like unanimous consent so I can wear my sweater in the legislature because my team
but it's
won.
a sweater.
So
There's
the
a sweater.
keffiyeh was worn by Sarah
There's a
Jamal,
jersey.
who is an independent MPP from Hamilton, and she wears it out of solidarity with Palestinian folks. She's not Palestinian herself.
Used to be MVP, was kicked out of the caucus, right?
Why?
She was well, over insubordination. Yeah, insubordination related to the whole Hamas war. She had been forced to apologize to the Jewish community twice before she was kicked out of the NDP by Mark Salvin. Reiterated again today that she isn't going to be asking JAMA to come back anytime soon. But this isn't really about Sarah JAMA so much now as it's more about this scarf. You had some lawyers who showed up here today.
Okay, so I feel like we have to now distinguish: are you Jewish or Zionist? Because I feel like that's really not the same thing.
Protests in the public galleries, and you've spent many hours in the legislative chamber with me over the years, and where they sit there, you're not allowed to shout out, you're not allowed to wave signs, and they started shouting "Free Palestine" and "You will not cancel us," things like that. And so Ted Arnott had to shut down proceedings for 15 minutes. And it was kind of raucous. And even though, most conservatives support Stiles' motion saying that the keffiyeh should be allowed, there were about 5 MPPs, including Lisa MacLeod from McKeon, who said no quite loudly today.
So no unanimous consent. So the party leaders, including the premier, have said we should allow this. He doesn't agree with the speaker's ruling. But in order
but he allowed a free vote. He didn't whip the vote.
For them to allow someone to wear it, they need unanimous consent. They don't, and then it devolves into a debate over the conflict into that.
Okay, there, Jack.
You need unanimous consent to wear yellow daffodils in May for cancer.
Right.
You need it for the white ribbons against domestic violence. When anything that is the speaker deems small p political. You have to get.
Okay, Bobby.
And in the background, of course, many members of the Jewish community, I would assume, are supportive of banning this, are supportive of Arnott because they say this has come to symbolize anti-Israel or anti-Jewish sentiment.
I think there is a feeling. I mean, certainly Lisa MacLeod said she thought the whole issue was anti-Semitic. Today, she was concerned about that. We saw the protest at Parliament Hill, which Ottawa Police is now investigating. It's a hate speech allegation after a fellow wearing a keffiyeh was saying some pretty outrageous things at a protest. And I don't think most people who go to these protests are that. And I think this is the problem. Even the fact protest happened in the legislature today, Graham, underscores that it is a political symbol, a symbol of resistance and Palestinian communities argue, wait, it's a cultural thing, but it's not the same as a hijab or a niqab or a turban or a kippah or any religious garment that is worn. Those things are tolerated in Ontario. It's not like Bill 21 situation in Quebec.
Others are not. For instance, other non-Sikh people, for instance, are not grabbing turbans to wear them in solidarity. Whereas they are with this.
Yeah, exactly. And
I feel like that would not be solidarity at that point. I feel like that would just be offensive.
Emphasize that it is not a religious thing; it is a cultural thing.
Okay, cool.
So it's not.
Where's it going? So where's it going? Is it a one and done, or is it ongoing?
It's ongoing, and it's exposed divisions here at the legislature, and we're a subnational jurisdiction. We don't have anything to do with foreign policy at Queen's Park, and I understand the symbolism that MPs wanted to either show their solidarity with one side or the other side, but the speaker's ruling is not technically wrong. I mean, it is the rules as they are written. Now they could change them, but they have chosen not to do so. Now it's because it's a unanimous consent vote. If someone had put forward a private member's bill and it was voted, it would pass because most people are supportive of this, but no one has chosen to put forward a private member's bill. And this is also coming, Graham, against the backdrop of a by-election in Milton, just west of Toronto, which is a really big, thriving Muslim community. And I think all four parties are trying to appeal to Muslim voters. While at the same time, others are saying, well, wait a minute, what about Jewish voters? So it's just a very, very divisive issue, and I don't think that anything's going to change that's going to make it less divisive.
It speaks to how this conflict, the situation, the tension in the Middle East has spilled over everywhere, whether it's city councils, parliament, or provincial legislatures.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, in this day and age of social media and everything is black and white, and there are no shades of gray. So I think this is unfortunate, and you see it on campuses in the United States and Canada. You see it in our city streets. You see it at businesses owned by Jewish members of the community who are, have had their businesses vandalized or getting their customers harassed. It's just a really bad scene, and I think everybody really needs to take a chill pill. And we all want peace in the Middle East. I think both the people of Palestine and people in Israel would love there to be peace, but there was a ceasefire in place, as Hillary Clinton has famously said.
Yeah. It's great to have you on. Thanks for this.
Thanks, Graham.
All right, that's Rob Benzie from the Toronto Star, Queen Park Bureau Chief. Quickly, before we go, we got 20 seconds on capital gains. I do not agree with this new capital gains. I own a cottage on a small lake that I bought in 1986 with my hard-earned dollars at the time. Most of its value because of since COVID. I'm retired on a low income. I'm trying to hang on to it. We are not the so-called rich the government says will be paying the increased taxes. We're all struggling to keep our heads above water.
Some people don't have one home. You, sir, have two homes. So, yeah.
We're dedicated to building a better future.
No offense.
For years,
but
we've proudly
kind of
offered
bullshit.
Eco Plus delivery, helping the fight against climate change. Not only do we deliver your new mattress and base, we also collect and responsibly recycle or donate your old ones. In the past 20 years, we've diverted over 2.9 million mattresses from landfills.
Like a lot of people work really hard.
Every Eco Plus delivery plan.
My father worked really hard for 35 years
committed to making a
as Smirnoff to get fucking
mouth-watering Greek cuisine near you.
the company just shut down. The company moved because of fucking Quebec stupid fucking language laws.
Locations including Waterfront and Lachine.
So they're gonna take a cut on its pension.
People often wonder why Truck Month is the perfect time to buy, say, a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Well,
$13,000 a year.
Perfect time to buy a barbecue.
That's what our families live off of.
Adopt a kitten month, it'd be perfect time to adopt a kitten. And if you were to install flashing neon lights under your car during month, well, you'd probably pass. During GMC Truck Month,
No, my heart bleeds for my father because we still haven't fucking paid off that house, and we don't have a new driveway. We don't have like a new roof. Like my mom always wanted a tin roof. Like a lot. Then my dad had to get a second job. I remember watching my dad cry because he was like, he was gonna get a job at the mustard factory. He was like, it smells so bad, man. I was like, well, at least it's a job. And then he retired again, and like now my sister and her husband are trying to finish paying it off, and I guess they're going to take it after when they die. Either way, it's just.
Mayor says Bonjour High is unnecessary. An arrest in an international conspiracy based in Montreal.
There's no other country in the world that has this fucking problem.
On the stand at Donald Trump's High trial.
Unfucking real.
Traffic Center here's Lauren Glazer. Pretty slow driving now for northbound from Sherbrooke up to the top. Also, southbound the Carry has delays in the top Horn. Off and on slow down on the westbound side of the Met, starting Lackwood Air to the DeCarry interchange. On the eastbound side of the Tecan, volume there before Chateau-Vaudreuil to the Court. Again between Quevilliers and Saint Laurent on the eastbound side of the Met, and again between Longley and Anjou. Southbound 25, that's difficult from Egrego to the tunnel. Also delays on the westbound side of the 20. Starting Turcotte now.
Yay, that's sun. Hi, Jack.
For fresh tasty meat.
Coffee's burnt. Okay.
$4.44 per pound. Traffic and transit
Thank
every
you.
15 minutes. Your next report at 2:50. Montreal Mayor Madame Cloud says she's not a fan of Bonjour Hi becoming more common.
Really?
People to drop the English in their greetings. This comes just after a report came out showing that 12% of businesses use bilingual greetings in Montreal, compared to 4% back in 2010, while French-only greetings.
But that's not what she said before.
Before
Before she was saying that it's to understand if you're dealing with an English client or a French one.
The only official language is French. We should be offering services in French.
Traitor. Traitor.
Will serve people in French. Phones argue that adding English on is unnecessary and doesn't make anyone feel more welcome. I'm John Keegan-Fleming.
A former employee of the UN's International Civil Aviation Organization is Montreal today on charges he was part of a conspiracy to illegally sell Chinese-made drones and other military equipment to Libya. His alleged accomplice is on the run and is the subject
What
of
a fucking traitor.
RCMP Sergeant Charles Poirier says the suspects would have made a lot of money on this.
Just in perspective, our suspect, that's the theory of the investigation, had this deal gone through, they would have benefited from potentially millions of dollars of commissions per month.
Police say 61-year-old Fatih Ben Ahmed Mawek from the South Shore and 37-year-old Mahmoud Mohammed El Suwaisayeh violated U.S. on Libya. A former tabloid publisher is testifying at Donald Trump's hush money trial.
David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer, telling jurors that he met with Trump and Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen in 2015, agreeing to publish positive stories about Trump and negative stories about his opponents. But he also said that if he became aware of negative stories about Trump, he would coordinate with Cohen to bury them. Prior to Pecker's testimony, the court hearing arguments over whether Trump should be held in contempt for social media posts that prosecutors say violated a gag order. Trump's attorneys say Trump's posts were merely political speech. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
And Equifax says it's trying to figure out how to factor rent data into your credit score.
The agency has been testing small volumes of rental payment data for a while and found that including alternative data could establish or enhance credit scores for about 5 million more Canadians. In its latest budget, the federal government said it's calling on banks, fintechs, and credit bureaus to prioritize launching tools that would allow renters to opt in to reporting their rent payment history. The government says this could help more renters become homeowners, as on-time rental payments could strengthen credit scores and make it easier to qualify for a mortgage or a lower interest rate. Michelle Zedikian, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
For news, go to CJAD800.com or download the iHeartRadio. Your Naval Weather Center forecast: increasing cloudiness this afternoon, windy, the high 19. Cloudy with showers tonight, still windy, the low +5. Rain tomorrow, mixed with snow late in the morning and early in the afternoon. It'll all end in the afternoon, windy in the morning, high +5. It's 19 downtown. For all the news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say play CJAD 800. Your next TV news update is at 2:30.
This week at brought you by Supermarché Acadine in MDG and Careful. This week at Supermarché Acadine, kebab sandwich 12-inch for only $5.99. Check out the flyer for more specials.
Kebab. It's a great word.
Moving to a retirement home or senior residence? Leanna's Senior Transition. They'll find you the best option for independent living, assisted living, or long-term care on your needs and organize and accompany you on tours. Leanna's services are free. No obligation. They're proud to have provided guidance and support to hundreds of families in Greater Montreal. Talk about it with your family and then reach out to Leanna's, LIANAS, Senior Transition Support.
Renovating a kitchen or bathroom will pay up to 100% when you sell your home. But that's probably the last thing you'll want to do when you see what Renofco can do. The kitchen of your dreams, a beautiful bathroom, or a redesigned basement and family room. Visit Renofco's Design Center for ideas and advice from experts and designers, all part of the service. The Design Center is at 11355 Côte-de-Liesse. Call 514-856-9993 or visit renofco.com.
News, trying to get fucking
the latest weather and road reports.
Fucking scrolls. Someone got my new telecap off yesterday. Good song. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Counting Crows. Right? No, I might be wrong. Jones. Yes, Mr. Jones. With the black hair. Suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday. It's April the 23rd today. It's a beautiful afternoon out there, so if you haven't been out yet, get out and enjoy. Remember these guys?
I love Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones, it's our 91 Hit Wonder week continuing, although to be perfectly honest, they were not 1 hit wonders. Turns out they were at least 5 hit wonders, so this is a bit of a misnomer. But that's okay, because I've heard the song a long time. So this song, 1993, went to #1 in Canada, and actually only here. It was on the top 10 in the US, but went to #1 here. Again, the good news. And as I said, they ended up having top 40 hits. They sold gazillions of albums too. Whatever happened to Counting Crows? Anybody know? Has anyone counted the Crows later? No. No idea. But there you go. 90s week continuing. 1 hit wonder or more in Counting Crows for today. I was going to play Howard Jones, and I don't play Counting Crows, maybe Howard Jones later in the week. I think again he might have had more than 1 hit, but maybe not. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, as I said, a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful until I walked in this afternoon and ran into Don Kagan Fleming, who's in the studio right now. Not that there's anything wrong with that. No.
Hey, dang.
Who then came up to me and said, hey, did you hear what Valerie Plante said? And I said, no. And well, tell them what she said to me.
Well, speaking at a press conference today, she is not a fan of Bonjour Hi. There's too much bilingualism in the greetings around Montreal. New report came out yesterday that said 12% of businesses in Montreal say something along the lines of Bonjour Hi, French and English. Not a fan.
First of all, I thought we all need a collective sigh when you hear something like that. I fully expected the provincial minister to say this. That's Jean-Pierre Auberge's job, right? To come out anytime there's any kind of a language issue, and okay, last study, this proves the eventual decline of the French language, yada, yada, yada. We've seen this. We've heard it a million times, but the mayor?
It is something we haven't heard from her before. This level of, she said a few things. I mean, she said, this is Quebec. We have one official language.
And that language is French.
Exactly.
As if we did. Thank you for saying that, Mayor Plante. I had no idea that was the case.
It's not something we've heard from her before. As you said, it's more of a common phrase we've heard at provincial level, but at municipal, that's...
What did she add? She said, do you have a clip, or I can play it again, but here, this is the mayor. And I think at one point during this conference, Don, she said it was unnecessary. Was that the word she used? Brian, you heard that clip? Go ahead.
People come to Montreal knowing that it is a francophone city. So, though we want to be welcoming to everybody, and of course we want to make good business and everything, of course. But we should be proud and we should encourage people to only say bonjour.
You know the part that really hurts? That part at the end with
a little laugh.
Really? Okay. I'm going to make this my question. I wasn't planning to, but I think, again, this is like hitting us over the head again and again. The last person I remember doing this, and I remember getting into a bit of a discussion with him, was Michel LeBlanc, who's the head of our Montreal Chamber of Commerce, who basically, when Bonjour Hi was a thing, I don't know, 3 years ago, and I did those t-shirts, the Bonjour Hi shirts, said in a discussion on there, oh, it's just not necessary. It's just the word hi, for God's sake. Are we having this discussion now? And I don't want to give everything away in my question, but I take one thing from this. And the good news is, the other big story today concerns a provincial poll that shows the CAC, for the first time ever, in 3rd place. Never mind behind the PQ, they're not behind the Liberals. To me, I'm hoping that's beginning to show that people are tired of this language stuff. I'm being kind. Stuff. Because there are more important things to do than go ahead and talk about the word hi and how it's affecting the survival of the French language. People, I hope, are beginning to tire of this assault on English, and they're letting the government know, because this polling, as I said, they've never been this low in the polls. They're the party that's been pushing this agenda. Maybe this is a sign.
I'll point out one thing too. It's not as if this study said 50% of businesses use Bonjour Hi. Just over 1 in 10 businesses.
Yeah. What they did mention, again, this will be my question, so I'm not going to get it all the way now. Don, thank you. Appreciate you sticking around. By the way, that press conference today was not called to discuss this. It was called because the government, or municipally, I guess, Montreal announced its biggest ever, what's it called?
Sponge Park.
Sponge Park.
kind of to deal with the heavy rains, and this was the topic that came up.
And this got thrown into the mix of the conversation. All right. Don Kagan Fleming from our newsroom. Thank you, Don. All right, so it is, here we are, as I said, it is a Tuesday afternoon, pretty decent day out there. 18 is our high. I don't know what it is right now. By the way, it might be worth repeating, unless the forecast has dramatically changed from this morning when I was listening, that tonight we're expecting rain, possibility of snow things still in the forecast. It's 18 downtown right now. But overnight we might get some showers, possibly a snowflake or two. But the good news is Saturday's high is 16, Sunday's high is 21. Gotta love my Charlotte this time of the year. All right, so as I said, bunch of stuff coming up. One of the things I'm looking forward to beyond this whole language issue today, it's a successive feat for me, but anyway, is this story about a Montrealer. I'm curious to get her take on this now that this Beaujeu High debate is starting up all over again. Who's been living in Toronto for I think more than 20 years and just came back to Montreal. She wrote an op-ed in the Gazette, and I was really quite taken by it. When you hear from someone who's lived here, leaves, comes back, and all the things that they see when they come back that they remember, they miss, and that you can't get in Toronto or Brockville, where I think she's living right now. So we're going to have her on. Her name's Carolyn Bennett. She's going to join us just after 5:30. We're also going to talk more about this poll that just came out that shows the CAQ are basically, I think it's fair to say, in free fall, running third. Maybe not as big a free fall as Quebec Solidaire, who were in fourth place, which leads me to believe, I think I may have asked this question of Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois, the co-leader, or the whatever they call them, of Quebec Solidaire. If this is as bad as that party is doing in provincial politics, I'm not so sure he would not be interested in taking a run at the mayorship of this city next year. Remember, we have a municipal election coming up in 2025. Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois, maybe. Have you heard anybody else's name? I haven't. Well, there's some guy at the Champ de Commerce whose name I'm not familiar with. I heard that being dropped a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know. Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois, pretty personable guy. I know it's not working for him for his party, politically now as far as a provincial, concern, threat, but maybe, just maybe, might be interested in running for mayor of this city. Where are all the people who want to run for mayor? I don't think what Valerie, look, let me be perfectly honest. I think I said as much last week. We did a rather lengthy podcast with her. Politics aside, if you could say that for a politician, politics aside, I like Valerie Plante. She's not hard to like. She's personable, she's friendly, and I know you have to, if you're going to be in that office, you have to be that way, at least to some degree. But I think that's really what she's like. I really do. Because when we're not talking politics, it's like we could be sitting having a cup of coffee together and have a really nice discussion. But I do not like for politics, at least not on language. I would have hoped that if anyone who might stand up and look at this OQLF study and say, okay, it doesn't really show much of anything. In fact, it's interesting to note there's stuff in here that shows French is not declined at all. Why not focus on that instead of focusing on this ridiculous argument about saying the word high? Not just the word high. Bonjour high. As if your ears will bleed when someone says that to you if you're a francophone? I mean, to me, this is utterly ridiculous. It's embarrassing to actually have a government discuss this and suggest, once again, it proves that French is in decline, it's under attack. Wow. What are we doing here? Let me get the traffic, CJD 800 Traffic Center, see what's going on. Warren Glazer standing by. What do you got going on?
Good afternoon, Aaron. Looking northbound the Cary, it's a difficult drive now. Starting Sherbrooke up to the top, we're also dealing with the stall left at San Miguel. Southbound 15, busy as well. The volume there starting out. Water out to the Champlain. On the westbound side of the 20, it's already pretty tough before Ungrenios to Norman. For the westbound side of the Met, volume there between Lac-Cordier and the Cary interchange. For the eastbound side of the TCAT, it's slowing before Chateaubourg to the Latour. More volume between Quevilliers and Stinson, and again between Longchaulier and the Anjou interchange. Southbound 25 is a slow drive as well between Sherbrooke and the tunnel. During GMC Truck Month, enjoy amazing offers on the 2024 CRF 1500. Visit gmcoffers.ca for details. Let us know what you see on the road. Call in your tips to star 800. Your next report at 2:30.
All right, thank you, Lauren. So we're going to get to our question of the day for today. I need to calm down just a bit. This really bothered me, and I don't usually let these things bother me, but I just think it's enough. Come on, ça suffit. This is one of those. It's enough. I know it's the OQLF, and there was some good news to be taken through here. The government chooses not to focus on that. It chooses to focus on this stupid, ridiculous argument about using the word bonjour high. You know, in thinking of, so I do a teacher, and I've done this now every year. I think it's been 4 years, right? One which was historic Quebec Anglo. That was the big issue a while ago. You can get services in that language only if you're historic Anglo. And then I did one year, which was Bonjour Hi with a thumbs up. Like, it's okay to say Bonjour Hi, for God's sake. We have a lot of tourists here. Is there something wrong with, yes, they know that this is, I think they know, Americans may not, but I think they know it's at least a bilingual city. I shouldn't say that in case someone's listening, but they know it's a French city where you can still get some service in English, right? So go into a store and be greeted by someone behind the cash going, Bonjour Hi. How could someone take that and make it seem offensive? I understand if that person behind the counter greeted you by going, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And said nothing else in French. Okay, oh my God, oh no, that's terrible. I think most of us would say that's wrong.
Oh my goodness.
14 years before we started doing this, that seems wrong, but that's what it says. So a 4% increase in the greeting Bonjour Hi. And that was enough to make heads explode in Quebec City. French language minister Jean-François Roberge reached into his pocket, pulled out that piece of crumpled paper, you know, the one that says, yes, this is another example and further proof of the need to remain vigilant about the decline of French in this province. Yeah. That one. Now, look, to be honest, I wouldn't have expected anything less from him. He's a French language minister. This is what he's going to do anytime there's something like this that comes out. It's par for the course. But what I did not expect, was for the mayor of Montreal, when asked about this today, to say she basically agrees. That it's she didn't use the word threat, but she basically said the same thing in a different way. So we have, here's the clip, and at one point, and again, the press conference wasn't called for this specific reason, but the question came up because this OQLF story has been in the news now. The provincial government weighed in, we wanted her to weigh in. So Jason asked the mayor, related to that study, this.
If you go to a store in downtown Montreal and you are served by someone who can't speak French or who says hi to you, what do you do?
What do I do? I mean, to be honest, like, it didn't happen to me, but I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. But I think it's important to ask a person to speak to you in French. We're in Quebec. The only official language is French. We should we should be offering services in French. If the person is not fluent or whatever, then maybe then we need to make sure that the store accompany the employees in getting their getting the French right. You know what I mean? And there's programs for that, and that's important to say. There's many programs that actually done also by the government of Quebec, but also
Traitor. Fucking traitor.
So we need to make sure. For me, it's an asset to speak French. It's an asset.
It is to everybody. It is to everybody.
It is a francophone city. So don't we want to be welcoming to everybody, and of course we want to make good business and everything, of course. But we should be proud and we should encourage people to only say bonjour.
Wow.
That laugh at the end really bothers me too.
All of it. All of it really bothers me.
You want to be welcoming to everybody, but you should just say bonjour.
That's not what she said up until this point. Up until this point, she has said that it's to understand if you're dealing with a French person or an English person.
These politicians did not say or even acknowledge.
And we're not a French-only fucking province. We are a bilingual province. Because people speak a lot more than just English and French. Just saying. Like, make us all look fucking ignorant hillbillies. Why would you not want to know more languages? Like, that's just fucking stupid. Like, there are Jewish schools. Jews speak 5 fucking languages.
Over the last 17 years, since 2007. Didn't mention that. That wasn't important yet. Look, after hearing this today, and after hearing what Dr. Respond had to say, as I said, I wasn't aware that until I got in here about an hour or so ago, right? I wasn't sure whether I should be angry or embarrassed.
Both.
Honestly, I didn't know how to react.
A lot of both.
Then I saw the results of the latest provincial poll, and I see that the CAC is now running in 3rd place. Not just behind the PQ anymore, but now behind, believe it or not, you better sit down for this.
Oh, who even vote for
They're
these
running
fuckers?
behind the provincial Liberals.
English people aren't allowed to vote provincially, so.
That's what the latest Palace data poll shows. The CAC is actually running behind both of these parties. I bring that up because, to me, it gives me hope that Quebecers, all Quebecers, beginning to grow as tired of this fake perceived threat to the French language the government has been pushing for the past 2
It'll set us back financially for 20 years.
Far more important things to worry about.
In every possible way.
Maybe wrongly, I take some hope from that.
What?
And maybe that should be the message for the municipal government as well. Language politics are not vote getters. When I spoke to Valerie Font last week, we talked about the Hippodrome. She said, oh, construction talk doesn't win elections. But let me tell you something, Mayor Font. Language politics don't win elections anymore either. This is not 10 years ago.
What are you guys talking about?
There are more important things to focus on than the word hi when you're greeted by someone in this city, in this province.
But you're talking about it on the radio right now.
Therefore, it's time to move on. But that's just me. What do you think? 790-0800.
Literally, employers don't even look at my CV because my name is English.
Are you embarrassed? Are you angry? Are you stunned by this? You tell me.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
790-0800. Your text at 51400.
Pretty standard, actually.
Now, brought to you by Dormez-vous. Your mattress is to blame for those sleepless nights.
Okay.
To a sleep expert, because at Dormez-vous, we solve sleep.
So next, I guess I vacuum the front
It's on
door.
now.
It's time for today's Polar Bear Minute. We've got Kate Collins, lead scientist for Gold Star Canadian Tours. Kate, is the Arctic a popular tourist destination?
Yes, it sure is. Every fall, thousands of people visit Churchill, Manitoba to see the polar bears as they migrate back onto the winter sea ice.
That's amazing. How can people living in Montreal make
Can you guys get like better actors or something? Because just like the acting is so bad. That's amazing.
We charter an entire private jet and fly up to Churchill, allowing you to experience
Right.
the region, spend the day on a tender buggy observing bears, and return home
Bears.
that night.
That's amazing. I bet people are
Beer
surprised
man.
how accessible the Arctic actually is.
Yes, Canada's North is closer than ever before, and seats are on sale now.
Never delete.
for
Why
our
would I
upcoming
want to
expedition
delete? That's my
departing this
question.
fall.
Thanks, Kate. Head over to
Thanks, Kate.
goldstarcanadian.com to book your seats today.
If someone spoke to me like that, I'd
JJ Cardinal
in the
Funeral
mouth.
is proudly family
Pop
owned
in
and
the mouth.
operated, having been in service to the community for over 50 years, helping families and loved ones navigate some of life's
Very
most
cool.
difficult moments. They offer pre-planning
An
services,
anglerfish.
comfortable and spacious visitation
Washed up on,
rooms,
well, the head of it at least.
as well as a unique columbarium
Washed up on the shore in California. Species living in the Pacific Ocean at depths of 2,000, 3,000 feet, where sunlight doesn't penetrate. I love that. That's just like the new word of the day.
Birthdays, baptisms, confirmations, and engagement parties all have one thing in common. You need to serve lots of food. Celebrate
Oh,
your
Berger
birthday
Blanc.
with
You
your
people are
dinner, and don't
terrible.
worry about a thing.
Your party can be as small as 10 and as big as 100. They have,
Ow!
they have the food, high-end Italian cuisine, also buco alla milanese,
Oh my god.
veal scallopini, fantasia, and more.
And the occasion to say Auguri is an occasion for Restaurant Vimena. Check out their special
The Ripstars.
Vimena.com. Whether you're renting out a downtown condo, a cottage, or an ancestral home,
Scatology themed Ripcords tribute.
rental property you have, a registration number is mandatory. Be sure to get your number, include it wherever your property is listed, online or off, and make sure your registration certificate
Anal
is
beat
clearly
apocalypse.
acknowledged you. It's the law. Learn more at quebec.ca/rubrique hébergement touristique.
Beads abashed.
Fire,
Shit beads. Bead death.
perfection. The light flickers and dances off your lustrous new Toyota,
DB.
charges to the sound of a cricket chirping.
I've seen bigger. Oh my god, gross.
Anyway, one thing's for sure, this moment isn't just a dream.
It's a pull cord, right? What?
Red Tag Days are on a Toyota. Take this opportunity to shop for a 2024 BZ4X. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Quebec Toyota dealer today.
I think it's important to ask the person to speak to you in French. We're in Quebec. The only official language is French. We need and we should be offering services in French.
A
If the
blow up
person is
doll.
not fluent
Oh
or
dear.
whatever, then maybe then we need to make sure that the store accompanies the employees in getting the French right.
Okay, you can see she's trying to bring out that answer and trying to buy some time as she's thinking about the answer as well. But I will point out, of course, it's important when someone wants service in French to speak to them in French. In fact, I think we could all agree, living in the city, that it's important, which is why the OQLF tells us that 98% of the time, that's exactly what happens. So why are we making a mountain out of a molehill here? Because someone had the audacity to use the word hi after saying bonjour? Angry, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I was really taken aback by this today. I'm going to try to calm down. Brand's on the line, 790-0800. Brand, what did you say?
Well, it got me upset.
Could pick it up and use it right where it lays.
The official languages list in Quebec. It was one of the official languages.
And slide 250 envelope under your door, ready to pay the price for this mint condition medieval advice. Medical device.
The government should pay roads. The government should pollute their health services. The government
What?
should do all kinds of stuff. But they should not be telling us what language
A real man's Beyblade.
And I have a problem with that.
Okay. I think a lot of Quebecers, if you didn't have a big problem with it, look, I get on, as I said, and I think perspective is important, right? I'm not saying it's fine for someone to greet you in a store, because that's what we're talking about here, and not be able to carry on, at least make an effort to carry on a conversation in French. But the statistics, the government's own from the OQLF, are telling us that almost never happens.
Boardwalk butt plugs. I like that.
When we talk, we'll go to a store,
Anal beats and crustlets.
and we'll find someone who can't speak to him in French. Not that they won't, but they
So
can't.
that's where I left that.
So I don't know. I'm not sure how to react to this, but I am upset because I thought we had moved on. Honestly, I did. Bonjour, hi, 3 years ago. Why are we still talking about this now? And why?
Ew. Just dust off, it'll be fine.
We're seeing that the poll results, the latest ones which came out really just earlier today, showed that the CAC is basically in free fall. They're the party that has been pushing this stuff down our throats for the past 2-3 years. No English here, no English there, change the rules, Bill 96. They're the ones, and they're now starting to suffer politically. And I'm going to say that's happening, at least to some degree, because of that. We are tired of hassling and pointing fingers at people, except for the hardliners, and they don't represent the majority of people living here, at English. It's enough.
That is really funny.
And I think people are waking up to that fact. I want to hear from you. 790-0800, 51400 for your text when we come back right after news.
Good afternoon. It's 2:31. I'm Jason Mayoff for the CTV News Update. Here's what's making news right now. Mayor Valahitard is calling on businesses to stop saying bonjour, hi, and instead greet people in French only. Her comment comes after an OQLF study found the use of the bilingual greeting is on the rise. So it says this is Quebec, and the only official language here is French. The motorized
Wow.
is accused of stabbing his mother and
Fucking traitorous bitch.
in February. Has been deemed fit to stand trial, but will remain detained at the Pinel Institute for the duration of the trial. In February, Fabio Polisi was deemed not fit to stand trial. He was ordered to undergo 30 days of treatment.
case is back in court in June. A former employee of a UN agency in Montreal is due in court today. He's accused of a plot to illegally sell Chinese military equipment to Libya. An alleged accomplice is still on the run. For the latest from the CJAD 800 Center, here's Lauren Glazer.
We're slowing down on the westbound side of the Met between PNF and the Carry interchange. Also some increased volume on the westbound side down to the Torque Bridge. Northbound 13 delays. For Route, southbound 13 delays as well between Hickmore and Auto Route 20. Westbound 20 between Ongrenio and Norman. Northbound to Carry, that is seeing volume now at length. For southbound to Carry, delays from the top to go St. Catherine. Busy drive for southbound 15 starting to La Verendrye out to the Champlain.
The La Verendrye. I think it was when you live here.
More than 450.
The La Verendrye. Also, please stop saying the big O. Nobody calls it the big O.
Your next report at 2:45.
That's the big O.
Your Naval Weather Center forecast increasing cloudiness this afternoon. Windy today, the high 19. Cloudy with showers tonight, still windy, a low +5. Rain tomorrow mixed with snow late in the morning and early afternoon. The low end in the afternoon, windy in the morning, though, a high +5. It's 18 downtown. Next,
I wouldn't say 18. I noticed they stopped saying feels like.
Yeah, it's the perfect time to change your decor. Live your dreams even more for a whole lot less. Jamais navigare.
When renovating, you want peace of mind. Call Renofco.
I had to look it up because they kept saying, but it feels like this. I was like, yeah, but according to who?
How do we make precision tires? We get to know the people who use them. We travel with them. Take every pothole, patch of black ice, and surprise the open road throws at them. So whether it's, wow, these roads are so smooth they put my children right to sleep tires, or the two kids fighting over a bag of ketchup chips in the back seat when one chip flies in front of your face, causing you to suddenly pull over and take a deep breath while asking for Serenity tires. Ask for Yokohama, made precisely for you. Back pain again? It must be from that run. 2 weeks ago? Maybe I pulled something sneezing. Could it be my mattress? Nah, it was definitely the sneeze.
It's your mattress. It's impacting your sleep. Stop playing the blame game. Speak to a sleep expert at Dormez-vous because we solve sleep. The time to switch event is on now. Get a clean mattress for only $4.99. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Only at Dormez-vous. Meldrum the Mover.
Hi, I'm Paul Filgeno, and I am Meldrum the Mover. Thinking of setting up a new home on another continent? Let Meldrum International help get you there. We have the knowledge, experience, and proven networks in Europe, the UK, the Far East, South America, and more. So choose your destination, then give Meldrum International a call. Take it away, girls.
Call 514-481-1122. Meldrum the Mover.
Last year's #1 Canadian drama is on CTV.
I thought I was strong enough to handle it all.
I'd rather have control of my life than leave those chance.
What isn't life all about taking chances?
Sullivan's Crossing, new episodes.
I was going to be upset.
On CTV.
People come to
Really
my
loud.
house knowing city. So don't we want to be welcoming to everybody? And of course we want to be good business and everything, of course. But we should be proud and we should encourage people to only say hello.
I gotta get that. By the way, as I said, we want to be welcoming to everybody. That's what the mayor said. But not apparently that means being welcoming to everybody. Really interesting thing. Thank you, Texter, for saying. Everybody means you could say bonjour and look what the mayor should have said.
What she used to say.
Needed to say. Was it's okay to use the word hi after saying bonjour.
That's what she used to say.
Oh, you know where the word is. Bonjour, we should. No. There's nothing wrong with adding that word at the end of saying bonjour. C'est le mot français. After that, she should have, that's what she needed to say. My opinion. What's yours? 7-800. 514-800 for your text and look after the line. This is Richie. Richie, you're a small business owner?
I'm a small business owner, and let me tell Valerie one thing. I have never said bonjour hi. I would tell every customer hi. If they talk to me in French, I will gladly
Switch to French. It's not a problem.
My father's the same small business for over 40 years.
Good.
She knows how to count to 10 and the days of the week in French.
That's it. That's great. There are fucking people who will live here. Like Tony's mom literally only knows Vietnamese, which I think is great. Yep. 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 Right. Right. Right.
But when someone wants to speak to you in French, you speak to them in French.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Working in this city, isn't it? The fact that we can't.
But why can't I even speak to you in English and you speak to me in French? And if we understand each other, what's the fucking problem?
You're not proud of French. Richie, I thank you for the call. Joe, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, hi. You know, when I heard her,
Because you know what? The French language is not decline. Like, it's just not. Like, and also, we don't speak French here. We speak Quebecois. It is like your fucking made-up language that is two other languages that is like, put together. Like, it's not. France has it covered. France has French covered. Don't worry about it. Like. Nationality.
All these language laws, whenever they add them, all they do is destroy the economy of Quebec. They do not help in any way, and all these studies have shown they do not help in increasing the popularity of French in the province. All they do is actually make people resent it.
Yep. For many years, and until after high school, I was like, okay, well, I'm fucked because I can't get a job. No one will hire me. So I learned French, and it'll never be enough. You'll never learn enough French for them to like to. They will start being like, quoi? Tu comprends pas? Or tu comprends pas? And it's like, no, tu comprends plus. Like, you know what I'm saying. When I say toilet and toilet, you know what I'm saying. Don't tell me you don't know what I'm saying. Like,
Ryan, what about you?
The problem
Snowden.
is that you're really a nice guy and getting yourself into an uproar over something the media is covering. But the reality is you're reacting to something that somebody who can't fix a pothole has said. Now, why do you give any coverage to what somebody who can't fix a pothole says publicly? It's
right. She's the mayor. She's the mayor of Montreal.
Yeah, but
no buts. She's the mayor of Montreal.
I don't blame you for getting upset, but I take it from where it comes. The fact that she's mayor of Montreal should perhaps make us fearful because much of the population voted for her.
Yeah, but you guys should be talking about it. Like, it's a fucking problem for a lot of us Anglos. Like, but then you guys blow it up to a point where we look now fucking stupid.
So the problem is possibly much deeper than we'd like to admit.
Okay. I thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Let me go to Annabelle on the line. Annabelle?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, Vincent?
I don't know who Vincent is. Vincent Van Gogh? No, Vincent Price. Vincent Price, of course. Good. How are you?
See it either,
Thank you.
but it made me laugh the other day.
So what do you think?
Well, I think it's a matter of getting to know your customers. And like if you see the same customer twice a week, you get to know them and what their language is. So right away, you're going to start either in English or French.
Okay, but I think in this case, remember the OQLF sent out the 10,000 or had 10,000 visits, right? So you're seeing people here perhaps you haven't seen before. I'm going to assume that's the case. Do you have an issue with someone saying bonjour, hi to you?
SERR LaCroix.
That's what apparently the provincial government does, and so apparently does the mayor. She thinks it's unnecessary to add that word hi at the end. Annabelle, thank you for the call. Roxanne, what about you?
Very shiny.
I'm just very, very angry. We've sent our children, and most people I know have sent them. They're bilingual, and it's not enough.
No.
What if it's socialistic government, if we sent ads out in American newspapers saying,
If you don't speak French, you're not welcome in Quebec.
No, if you are not born a francophone, if you do not have a French name, you will never be one of them. You will never be welcome here.
I think they go ballistic.
You know, I thank you for the call. I wonder, I'm going to take this to the next level, this idea.
Because if you have an English name, they treat you like you're fucking white trash. Like, you, like not you, like fucking they, because they love tourists. They love tourists. Go to Quebec City, holy shit. Like everyone in Quebec City fucking speaks English, but it's because they want the tourists. Like,
Business owners who have the temerity to add the word hi to the end of a greeting, is that what's coming next? Say hi, or there's a fine.
what?
I'm not even sure that's crazy.
All right.
I think that's something the provincial government, if they thought it could win the votes.
Are you insane?
And that's what they're going to do. You're a shopkeeper, you say hi after saying bonjour, $50 fine.
Why?
Laugh. How far away are we from that? From the line.
Oh, I'm so fed up with this. It's so crazy. We can't, we're bonjour. We can't even get safety signs. I'll give you an example. I live in Candiac, the Candiac Costco. There's all warning signs when you get gas to turn off. You need to turn off the pump.
Yeah.
Lift this red cover, press this button. Only in French.
Yeah.
Only in French. We're like
Your own medical documents. You have to request. And good luck with that.
There's a lot of things we gotta worry about.
Sure is, or sure are rather. As I said, when
They spend money to take down stop signs that are English to put them up in French. So the whole point of the stop sign, it is universal. Everyone knows what the fucking shape of a stop sign would mean.
I'm fed up with this. When I saw that, I said, this is all we have to think about right now. Is bonjour hi.
Yeah.
I've been in business for the longest time, 40 years.
Wow.
And I speak Italian, and everybody
Good for
that
you.
comes to my restaurant, French people are begging me to speak them in Italian because they go to Italy and they're fed up of being ignorant,
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's ignorant.
Sorry.
It makes everyone in Quebec look like a hillbilly.
With the trip. And I have to tell you, they ever have a couple of minutes to tell you this.
You
I've
don't.
been traumatized with the French language.
Yeah, me too.
Because when I was 20 years old, 22 years old, I was trying to run a business. And my business card said Giovanna. And a French person came up to me and said, you will never make money with a name like Giovanna.
Yep,
So I
you're right.
calling myself for 10 years, 20 years, I kept calling myself Joanne.
What?
Today I am so successful that my name is Giovanna.
Good for
Good for you, lady.
The French people say that.
Giovanna,
It's fucking
thank you
bullshit.
for the call. I appreciate it.
First of all, look,
It is traumatic. I, for a long time, thought that I didn't know how to speak French.
English, very important English element in Montreal. Montreal. You know, it's only Louise Arel when she was a new minister. She stuck that in the charter of Montreal, that Montreal is a French city, which of course is really a falsehood because it's not. So that bothers me. No one seems to be picking up.
Oh, nice catch, me. That was a very good catch.
Who said, not that long ago, a month ago, maybe a little more than that, the mayor actually stuck up for McGill and Concordia.
Yeah.
The provincial government's decision,
Fucking traitor, man.
all that stuff was not a good idea. She was against it. I thought she was sticking up for English Montreal at that point. And then today, apparently, when it comes to the use of the word hi, she says that no, that's unnecessary. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't. It's such a non-story. Why turn it into something? Why not simply say, anyway, I don't want to get into this again. I said what I had to say, which was what the mayor should have said, what she needed to say, was that there is nothing wrong with adding the word hi after the word bonjour. Who would that have upset? But that's not what she said. Elizabeth, what do you think?
Hi, what she should have said is not this is Quebec, this is Montreal, and here we speak multi-languages.
No,
Yep.
She said, here we speak French. It's the only official language.
Correct, but you're there. I would have said, excuse me, we're in Montreal, not in Quebec. I don't expect people
Yeah.
who are flying to the air or truck this out to say bonjour, hi. But in Montreal, of course.
Yeah, I agree.
Multilingual.
Well, we know it, but apparently we're not very proud of the fact, at least not if you're the mayor of the city. Costa's on the line. Costa, what do you think?
Hey, Aaron, I pulled over to calm myself down. You go way back in time, and I've heard you many, many times in talk shows and this and that. You have to understand something. This is hypocrisy at its best. Every time we had a separatist government in Quebec, there was always a color separatist mayor here. And they kiss the mighty ring of any prime minister so they can get hand-me-downs. And I asked this question to Elias.
And she's a woman on top of that. That's why they don't let her do anything, because she's too English.
So I think it goes hand in parcel. You need a mayor of a certain color to get things done.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Well, that's why I voted for Jackie Singh. What a waste of a fucking vote.
I have started to roll the plan. I will not be retiring in Quebec. I'm born and raised in Montreal. I will be leaving. I had enough. I took it. I've been referendum. You know the story, Aaron. You were there with us, all the people that are listening to you. And I think now that at a certain point where the psychology, the mongering has gone to another level. And this is what's not right here, okay? And if anybody's listening that's maybe of nationalist color, let's go to St. Pete, Quebec in summer and see how nice they speak English to all the Americans, because they gotta sell all their leather goods. The nicest Quebecois speaking in English.
What was I just saying?
So the hypocrisy goes from east to west, north to south.
Costa, thank you for the call. Take heart in one thing, my friend. Before you say you're not going to retire here, just think, hopefully, that this poll that came out today that shows the CAC losing power, now running third provincially, even behind the Liberals. I think, maybe I'm wrong, I hope, part of that fall is because people are tired of the language politics this party is playing. And if that's the case, they won't be in power come 2026. So maybe put that in your pipe and smoke it for when you decide where to retire. We're out of time. We're way late. I'm going to bring this back after 4 o'clock. I know we've got the full bank of lines here as well. So you're going to have to call back in after 4. I'm going to bring this up again, see what you have to say. Thank you. And I'll get to your text. I didn't have a chance to read those either. So I've got a full bank of lines here. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the text. Appreciate that. Let's go to traffic. CJD 800 Traffic Center. Here's Mark.
From the 80s. 60s to the 80s. Huh. Cool. Hmm. 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 Okay. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Lock code. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh! World Key Blank Encyclopedia. Oh my god. 1980s Dominion Lock U.S. Incorporated. Okay. 3,600 keys. Interesting. Oh, really? Dominion was started in 1933 in Montreal, Canada. At some point, they opened U.S. citizen. They closed in 1985. And ILCO Unican acquiring the rights to the DL line. Okay. I'm also including the 1977 8-page supplement in good condition to use. Classic car slips over the hurricane, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. Okay. Oh, God, that's it. That's it. Back Garden in the UK. Does it? Anyone know anything about this? Did a bit of research. Comes from Dominion Law Company, which ran in Canada between 1920 and 1985. Oh, wow. Okay. And they are made keys for cars. Not sure how old this one is. A little info. Based on the style of the key, I would say it's probably 1920, 1930. After that era, the keys began to look different from house keys and usually had the car manufacturer's name on it. Very cool. Oh. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame machine. Okay, cool. Holy shit, eh? "70 years of service." Oh my god. 1938 to 1950, the Quad owned a hardware store in Montreal neighborhood Park Extension. Oh shit. In 1938, one of it's like the most ghetto. Family, 4 sons. Roland established another store machine named LaCroix Hardware. Oh no, 637. They have the same phone number? That's literally it. The phone number is what's on here. Holy fuck. That's nuts. 1950, Roland sold the store to his brother Marcel, who kept the store's name, LaCroix Hardware. Expanded the locksmith branch of the business, began to grow. Custom key cutting became store's claim to fame. Cool. Marcel. Oh, I hope it's not the creepy Marcel from down the street. He seemed so nice, and then I noticed he had a lot of religious stuff on his fucking apartment. And I was just like, and there was one night he drives is that one that looks like a hearse? Oh, it's sad to say. Anyway, it's a really fucking ugly car, and it's a convertible, and it's white, so it kind of looks like a very much a middle-aged woman's car. But and he wears like a fedora and like a fucking palm shirt. I was like, oh wow, you think you're very cool. And he seemed really nice at first, and then one night he came up and he was like all dark inside the car. He's like, come here. I was like, no, that's okay, I'll just stay here. Like, how you doing? And he seemed to not talk to me after that because he got kind of pissed off. Because you get pulled into a car once, that sucks. You get pulled into a car twice, maybe you're in places you shouldn't be. Okay. This obviously is not working out. I want to use this for now. Please. What's up, Jack? Oh. Oh, wait a sec. Chinny, England. Hi, Jacko.
the number of businesses using both languages to welcome customers. The mayor called that report worrying, saying that this is Quebec, where there's only one language.
So we want to be welcoming to everybody and having good business and everything, of course. But we should be proud and we should encourage people to only say bonjour.
She'd like to see services in stores off French only and wants to see the high drop from both sides because the English is necessary. Paul feels that people come to Montreal expecting a francophone city and that they should be surprised with English. I'm John Keegan Fleming.
So a long way up. Is now in third place in the polls. They're at 18%, behind the Liberals at 23%, and the PQ, which is way ahead of the pack, at 33%. Quebec Solidaires in fourth place. The Quebec Conservatives are last. The next Quebec election happens in the fall of 2026. Quebec will not be required to cover the cost of meals and booze for LA Kings players going to the city for 2 exhibition games this fall. That was revealed today during a study of budgetary appropriations of the Treasury Board after interim Liberal leader Marc Tanguay asked for details on the deal. The Legault government has agreed to pay the Kings $5 to $7 million for the games at the Centre Videotron. The RCMP says 2 former UN employees in Montreal have been charged with taking part in a conspiracy to illegally sell Chinese military equipment to Libya. Sergeant Charles Croyer says 61-year-old Fatih Ben Ahmed Mouet was arrested this morning. The alleged accomplice, Mahmoud Mohammed El Suwaysaye, remains on the run.
So what we found is that through some shell companies, they attempted to sell this Chinese military equipment to Libya, which is a direct violation of the regulation.
2 men who work for the Montreal-based International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, were accused of violating UN sanctions related to the Libyan civil war. Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker has returned to the witness stand in Donald Trump's hush money trial.
Old shit. That's so sad. The wife had died.
Jurors appearing in case.
Seems like I just have all her stuff now. So if you want to it, I was like, yeah, okay.
Pecker went on to discuss the 2015 meeting with Trump and Dave, asking what he could do to help his presidential campaign. Pecker vowed to only publish positive Trump stories and negative ones about opponents, such as Ted Cruz shamed by
Cruz.
And if the publisher heard damaging Trump stories involving women, he would kill them, even if he had to buy them to do it. Trump denied falsifying business records to cover up stories about him. At court in Manhattan, I'm Julie Walker.
For more news, go to CJAD800.com or download the iHeartRadio app. Your Tornado Weather Center forecast increasing cloudiness this afternoon. Windy, the high 19. Cloudy with showers tonight, still windy, the low +5. Rain tomorrow mixed with snow late in the morning and early in the afternoon. It'll end in the afternoon, windy in the morning, the high +5. It's 18 downtown. For all the news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say play CJAD 800. Your next CTV news update is at 3:30.
This newscast brought to you by Electroaid, heating and air conditioning specialists for over 70 years. They service all brands, no matter who put them in. 514-333-7460, electroaid.ca.
Got any plans for the summer?
Summer? It's barely spring.
I know, but you don't want to miss out on your spot in the sun. I was searching for weeks before I found my deal with Sell-Off Vacations.
Oh no, the promo's starting to kick in already.
Oh yeah, and with packages to Cuba, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic at up to 50% off, you know they're going to go fast.
You're right. I'm going to block out the next hour or so for
Don't wait. Book with your local travel expert or at
SellOffVacations.com. People often wonder why Truck Month is the perfect time to buy, say, a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Well, if it were barbecue month, it'd be the perfect time to buy a barbecue. If it were adopt a kitten month, it'd be the perfect time to adopt a kitten. And if it were install flashing neon lights under your car doors month, well, you'd probably pass. During GMC Truck Month, get a $6,500 cash purchase credit on selected 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Conditions apply. Details at gmcoffers.ca.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation. Anytime between 2 and 6. It's Montreal Now on CJAD 800.
Welcome back, 3:07 on a pretty nice Tuesday afternoon, temperature-wise, 18 degrees downtown. What a miss. So look, our next story came across this the other day. It's about something we don't often talk about. You may have seen a story talking about graduation rates in schools and the fact that more and more children are have decided, or someone's decided, they're not going to class. And then I read the part that a new study commissioned by Quebec's Employment Ministry shows the province's vulnerable youth. So these are the ones who pass through the government system, right? They're the ones especially having trouble, struggling rather, to succeed.
Yeah, because I was very sick. So I had pneumonia, and I kept getting pneumonia. So I took, like, I was in the hospital for about a month, and I was off of school for like 3 months.
What are some of the key points to take away from what we did discover?
Well, what we're discovering is that these young people aren't doing well at all. This is the first longitudinal study that we have to really try and find out what happens to them once they leave the youth protection system. And these kids are overrepresented in all of the groups that we don't want them to be in. They don't have stable employment. There's a lot of young people on the street. They're not getting their education like other young people of the same age. So they're not doing well, unfortunately.
Yeah, and twice I mentioned
don't care about English
rates are
education.
twice as likely as well to drop out of school compared to the general population.
Really?
Yeah, and only 17% of them had a high school diploma at the same age, at 19 years of age. That goes up a little bit by 21, about a quarter of them, but that's only a quarter of these children even getting their high school diploma. So obviously, trying to go
It's a miracle, honestly. It's a miracle that I have a high school diploma. I even have advanced math. But that was still not enough to get me into CJEP, and I would have kept applying like a fucking moron. If the secretary was really nice. And she was like, have you applied here before? I'm like, yeah, quite a few times. And she was like, hang on a second. And she went and she pulled up my file, and like she was like, it's because they went back to your grade 9. Because you did so, I had 80s for my overall, and they wanted to see what happened in grade 9, which I didn't show up to more than half a year, and everything said any, not evaluated, which is an automatic 60. And they were like, yeah, but there's no like death certificate to say that this is why
it has to be an approach that takes care of all of
you were able to, because I passed my exams.
They need housing, they need to eat, there's proper revenue, they need employment programs that are adapted to the trauma.
No, they don't want us to have employment here. That's been made so very clear.
Working together, we're never going to be able to provide the response they need, and these kids don't have family support. I find that's an important point because not many of our youth are on the street trying to fend for themselves at age 19.
Yep.
But these young people
I was 12.
are already traumatized by the abuse that they've lived through.
So
I was 12 when I first moved out.
You don't have family to fall back on here. Can you? I mean, I'm trying to think now.
And I was living in a house by myself.
The aspect of this is not working out. You can't force someone to go to school. So what do you do in a case like this?
I don't know why we send kids to go to school and we're like, they're too hyper and they won't sit still for like 8 hours at a time. Like,
there was a qualitative component to this study as well. They want to go. Some of the young people are saying, I just can't go because I have to try and survive. And they're working in these really low-paid, precarious jobs just to try and put food on the table. Because they
my first job was at a truck stop when I was 8.
And others
And I worked for tips.
such delays in terms of their education that it's like they're looking at Mount Everest, and we have to try and put in place programs that help them little by little to progress and
I don't know. I don't know if it's good.
But these programs are possible. I really want to highlight that these approaches exist. It's just we're not putting them in place.
Pennies.
Well, I mean, so why aren't we putting them in place? This is a matter of cost. This is a matter of personnel. We don't have the people to do this. What's the rationale here, the reason?
Well, I don't know. I hope these ministries are listening to us this afternoon because I think the expertise is there, the research is there. It's just that we need ministries working together. And one of the things that I've noticed in the last few years is each ministry just looks at their piece. So let's say employment just looks at their piece. They want to get back on the workforce as they can. And they put in place criteria that honestly these young people that we're talking about today, they can't fit into these programs because we're not looking, globally at what is their situation, and they need other kinds of supports and accompaniment to be able to succeed. So if you're just looking at something very specific with very criteria that doesn't fit the needs of these kids, so they can't fit into those programs and they don't succeed. So they need to adapt their approach.
You're describing a situation where basically the left hand and the right hand choose not to work together here.
Well, I don't know if they choose, but they're not doing it.
So so we have a study, we have the hard facts now in front of us, we know what's going on. Can I ask if you're confident that based on this, something will change?
No.
Well, I certainly hope so, because other jurisdictions, like in British Columbia, have really done an extraordinary piece of work in place these comprehensive programs for these young people. And I really want to highlight that, youth protection is the responsibility of the state or the province in our case, and youth protection represents the government and the population.
Are you insane?
So when we take a kid out of their home saying that we're going to be able to do better for them,
it never is.
It's not okay that we're not following through, and these kids are struggling like they are. And we've got
no, but that's why they were going to take me away from my parents. It's because I wasn't going to school, and that was not their fault. That was my fault.
Why are we allowing this to actually keep happening? We know now that the system has not been working, as you described. The various components within the system are not working together. So let's at least focus based on this. In your description of what's happening in BC, that seems like a pretty good model to at least look at and go, well, they're doing the same thing here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Leslie, I thank you so much. Appreciate you shining some light on this for us. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you for your interest in these young people.
She is, as I said, former commissioner of the Rights of the Child and Youth Protection Commission.
I honestly don't know why I graduated. There's no reason for it because I didn't show up to most of it. I would go to my exams and I'd pass my exams, which made my teachers hate me the year after. But my mom used to start at 6:30, and every half an hour she was trying to get me out of bed until about 11. And she did this for years until she gave up. But I still ended up getting my diploma somehow.
Pretty slow from Sugar to the top. 13 nearly as in the B-Zone Bridge. Slow bridge. Slow drive on the westbound side to 20. The volume there starting ahead of Ongrenal out to Norman. With 2 bucks, you can do more with buy one, get one free on now until May 6th. Your local there's no easy on the road. I'll your tips to 4800. Your next report is good.
All right, when we come back, the situation here that's going on.
Montreal Now, brought to you by Dormy Boo. Waiting for those sleepless nights? Sleep expert, because at Dormy Boo, we solve sleep. Find a sleep expert now.
While you're focused on your morning commute, your afternoon meetings, your evening commute,
or your late night shift,
Desjardins Business is focused on more than 400,000 hours a day. With instant knowledge and specialized data, we help entrepreneurs rise to the challenge so they can focus on what matters most, growing their business. Thinking on vacation down south, testing the limits of what you can order.
Hi, ice cream, please. What's here? And pizza? Made of chocolate? Of course. The towel made out of churros?
Sure.
Full of caramel so I can swim? Okay. Is this what true power feels like?
Yes.
It's a family promo where kids stay and eat free with Transat. Book your sun vacation package at transat.com or contact your Club Voyage professional. Conditions apply. Transat. Travel
Hi, I'm Paul Filchero, and I am a believer. Taking a study for a new home on the continent? Let Melbourne International help get you there. And more. Choose your destination and give Melbourne International a call. Take it away, girl.
Elevate your energy
From diesel to gasoline, oils, and a range of petroleum products, we offer all consumer fleets with round-the-clock service. Get your free estimate now at Hewitt.ca.
Petros Taverna, there's a taste of Greece, Westmount, Little Italy, Laurier, and President Lachine, mouth-watering Greek specialties, leading $1 back again and again. 5 locations, restaurantpetros.ca.
Is it supposed to be that loud?
Sitting in a $329 sitting in a $179 meal package chair from IKEA sounds like.
IKEA. Shop new lower prices on over.
Quickly submitting and tracking a claim on the Valor Direct app. Action is simple. Valor Direct. Insurance is simplified.
The experts at Protégé Boo tested the Mazda CX-5 and CX-30 out on the roads of Quebec in good weather and not so good weather. And they were impressed. So much so, they named the Mazda CX-5 and the Mazda CX-5.
Acton offers free evaluations and financing to fit your budget. Acton.ca, the concrete and foundation.
Why is that like that?
Acton for action.
Personal helps you put money back in your pocket so you can do more of what makes you, you. From now until July 31st only, you can be rewarded with up to $400 when you open a banking package and an investment plan at Scotiabank.
Oh, this thing comes off.
But for now, we're just having a discussion. Me and my next guest, Tracy Coffey. Pronounce your last name.
It's Polak.
Is it Polak, but it's spelled P-A-U, like pow.
Yeah.
But Polak.
Yeah, because I'm French.
So, yeah, so, and again, maybe this is a weird thing to say. We're sitting and chatting and said to me in French. I'm like, oh, I said, yeah, you are.
I know.
You speak perfect English.
I try. Yeah.
Now, so you grew up here. You're a Quebecer.
Yes.
And you're now working with an organization called the Fondation, I say dynasty or dynasty en français.
Exactly.
So, first of all, let's talk about the million things. What does this organization do? Fondation Dynasty.
So we've been working, it started with Gana Dynasty 8 years ago, but I'll say now our focus is really to support Black talents and professionals
You got something burning.
in the media arts and culture sphere. So we develop programs, initiatives, partnerships, all of that to really have representation in those sectors.
Oh.
Okay, and again, so you're working within the Black community.
Yeah.
In those sectors.
Yeah.
And then the event I mentioned you have coming up, so you do like an awards, a soiree.
Yeah.
You have 2 of these, so explain when does that
Okay.
happen? By the way, is it too late if you are someone in the Black community who's working in the arts or whatever to even reach out? You have a jury, I know, so obviously this has been done.
Yes.
Okay.
But actually for 2025, we'll have the application period starting somewhere this summer. So it goes for 2 months and then the period closes in September. So yes, if you've done anything, great. If you want to apply for someone as well, please be aware. Follow us on all social media platforms.
So you're doing 2 nights of this soiree. Who are you honoring here? How's that going to work?
So the first one happened What day are we?
I'm not the right person to ask that question, just so you know.
We've been doing so much. We're Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, perfect, awesome. So we had our media evening on Sunday. That went really, really well. We gave TV presenter awards, radio hosts, TV hosts, podcasters. So we do a lot of these. We have about 13 categories. And then the next one is Saturday.
Radio host.
Yeah.
So, but I could not qualify because
Aaron, are you black?
I'm not black.
No, you're not.
Aaron, are you black?
I do not.
No, I'm not.
Well, not in this, not right. Well, actually, I do. I work with a producer who is, but it's probably related to win an award.
It would
I
have to
could
be
nominate
a
him in the summer.
He's a host. Yeah, we don't have producer as of yet.
Ron, you host stuff. You host stuff online, don't you? Have like a show online, I think, right?
Yeah, but not in Canada.
Oh, it doesn't air in Canada. Is that a problem?
But you're from here, so
Yeah. Toronto.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, it's nice to meet you. Hopefully, we get to see you again.
Just gonna get a Brian to win an award. I think that'll be my major challenge right now. All right.
Right.
For people who don't know, so in the Black community here, and I know we've had different organizations promoting different sort of cultural aspects of the Black community. For people who are in media or are thinking of getting into media, any of the arts as well, to find out what the foundation does, just reach out.
Yeah, definitely. We love to answer questions. Definitely available to answer those. So you can find us. Well, definitely go to the website. For the www.galaxydynasty.com. And for the foundation, www.fondationdynasty.com.
Like maybe it's
You
just like a
sponsor-
little nut.
So do you sponsor programs as well? I mean, if you wanted to get into a media or arts program, could you?
So we're actually developing, we had one with Fréjus Bourget and École Nationale de l'Humour that just ended, that went well. And we have one coming in production, one in literature.
Okay.
And working on another one that I can't talk about. Oh, in music, actually, in music. So not necessarily media, but panels. We do so many things throughout the year. So definitely check us out.
You work through schools at all? Do you go to schools or how do you reach out to people?
I give workshops times, conferences, but definitely working on the outreach. We're a very small team doing huge things, I find, but definitely open to going to schools, universities, college. Yeah.
So again, the way to do that, go to Fondation Dynasty. You can get all the information there and sort of go on from there.
Yes.
Can you leak any information? Now, you said already?
Yes.
When's the second one?
Saturday.
And is that, who's being nominated? Who's getting awards on that?
We have categories for Anglo artists, Franco artists. We have authors, stand-up comedians, visual artists.
Stand-up comedians?
Yeah. We have...
Like working stand-ups in the city?
Yes.
Who happen to be Black?
Yeah. So we have Peter Bowen. That's our only Anglophone this year. But we have Steve Vico. We have Gariana Jean-Louis. We have Erickson Alice. Yeah.
This is amazing to me, and I guess maybe not in a good way. So you name one Anglo comedian who's nominated, and you name a whole bunch of Franco comedians. I'm just thinking of Francophone.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these people. See, and that's the thing about the community, right? So I know you have French stand-up clubs, like comedy clubs, French simple. And I just know this one guy. So maybe this is a way to kind of bridge the gap here, because I'm sure if they're nominated, they must be obviously very funny.
Yes, definitely. So we had experts as jury. We try our best. We had Mike Ward. We have
to pick them.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, cool.
As jury, Eva. We have Eva Rospin that has a comedy club as well. Adama that works with all the bookings and stuff. So that's just for stand up, but just to say that that's a very great opportunity for everyone to know of the many views and talents of the Black community. Yeah, because that's one thing too. You said it. There are multiple communities within the Black community, as we like to call it, and so we work very hard on diversity of either it's like background, language, age. So yeah.
See, as I said to you, I find that it's not fascinating. I know this has been going on forever. The divide between Anglo-Franco in terms of media, or at least arts and culture, that you would know on the Anglo side. I have no idea what's going on the Franco side, but you're kind of in both.
Yes.
Is there a thriving Black community entertainment, like people, culture, arts, etc., on the French side?
I'd say, funny enough,
All the
well,
Haitians.
that's my perspective. I find there's a lot of francophones doing music in English. So that's like,
Okay.
yes, there's many of these. And if I could think of another one, that would be the one that I could think of because of it has to
Mainly
be fun.
music.
Yes,
Okay.
mainly music. Yeah.
It's really one of those things. You have to somehow find a way to be able to get out into that community and say, hey, you know what? I know this guy on the English side, but again, as I said, I've never heard. I mean, unless you call Mike Ward a francophone comedian, which I don't consider him, I don't know what the world is on that side, and I would love to know. That's something I think a lot of us maybe step out of this box that we're in and go look into what's going on the francophone side. I think that'd be fascinating.
Yes, well, we definitely want people to come. We have so many activities throughout the week. One today, as well as one on Wednesday and Thursday. But if you can't come on Saturday, which I really hope you can, will be broadcasted as well. So that would be one way for people, because we want people to be aware and know what's going on, and know the many talents that we nominate.
So you want people to come. Where's the event on Saturday?
Place des Arts.
Oh.
Okay. Yes.
So anybody can go buy a ticket and come and watch the event?
Definitely. It's definitely open to the public. We want people to come. This is one of the biggest events here in Montreal every year. So definitely, if you can come with your tribe, come through, dress. I know that La Mairesse, Valérie Pompe, loves to come every year and get, yeah, I think you just talking to her. But yeah, so many beautiful people coming to celebrate. Yeah.
Listen, it's great. It's wonderful meeting you. Just a little tip: when you see Valerie Pompe,
Yeah.
don't say bonjour, hi. Okay.
I'll try my best.
It's just bonjour. Don't get in any trouble because that set me off today already. Thank you. Appreciate you coming in. Good
My
luck.
pleasure.
Have
Take
fun. If you
care.
want to get out there on Saturday, it's happening at Place des Arts. We're going to get you the news. That's next here on CJD. Stick around.
Have you or your partner gained weight over the past
I
few years?
see that you
According to
have a
University
fucking-
Researchers are seeking couples 50 plus trying to lose weight through diet and exercise. You'll learn about your health and receive up to $250 for participating. Email couples@concordia.ca.
Good afternoon, it's 3:30. I'm Jason Mayoff with a CTV News update. Here's what's making news right now. Montreal Mayor Valérie Plante says that saying bonjour hi is not necessary. She says businesses should be encouraged to only say bonjour. A study by the OQLF has found that the number of businesses using the bilingual greeting has tripled since 2010. Players of the LA Kings will need to buy their own poutine and booze next fall when they play 2 games in Quebec City. The Parliamentary Commission today heard that the government will not be responsible for alcohol and food. Quebec is paying the team $5 to $7 million for the game. And the latest poll puts the PQ firmly in the lead in voter intention at 33%, compared to 23% for the Liberals, who are in second place, at 18% for the CAQ in third. Quebec Solidaire and the Conservatives are in fourth and fifth place. The next Quebec election isn't until 2026.
Very sharp.
With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Lauren Glazer.
We're seeing a slower drive northbound 13 now between WF and the B-Cell Bridge, again between the 344 and 640. Southbound 13 delays as well before it hit more to the 20 on the westbound 20. It's slowing before Ungrino to Norman, again between Austin Capital and Il Perot. On the eastbound side of the 20, it's a slower drive as well between 43rd and 1st Avenue. Eastbound side of the Ville Marie, you're losing time now between Outwater and St. Laurent. But the outbound side of the Mercier Bridge is back into Ville St. Pierre. Also delays on the westbound side of the Seacat, starting Morgan out to the Illicourt Bridge. Book a vacation package to Paradisus Resorts by Malia and save $500 per couple with Air Canada Vacations. Contact your travel agent or visit aircanadavacations.com. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Your next report at 3:45.
The Naval Weather Center forecast increasing cloudiness this afternoon, windy to high 19. Cloudy with showers tonight, still windy to low +5. Rain tomorrow mixed with snow late in the morning and early in the afternoon. It'll end in the afternoon. Windy tomorrow morning, the high +5. It's 19 downtown. Your next CTV News update is at 4 o'clock.
Emotions are running high on a new episode of Sullivan's Crossing, last year's #1 Canadian drama. Sunday at 8 on CTV.
Radio today is iHeartRadio. The latest breaking news, insider comment.
Okay, come on, please. I'm so sorry. No. Oh no. Like, just barely done fit. You're gonna flip flop everywhere. Seriously? Honestly, it goes this way. Like, no. Fuck, you are sharp as fuck. can't just be it. That's like fucking loose in there like that. Mm-hmm. It's so insane. Mm. Oh. Oh, it's the squirrel. It scared the shit out of me. Oh, you're choking. Scared the fuck out of me.
Financing issues, things, but that have to be taken care of. But it just got strung out over a long period of time, which in the end it turned out to be an advantage because we were able to still follow some of the long and winding stories. For instance, this accusation about him, which was later by Virginia Giuffre, that only happened about 18 months ago. So we got all that in the film, and it feels kind of complete and satisfied in that sense.
So I like the two things. I know you're quoted as saying you knew you were stepping into a minefield with this subject. What did that mean?
Well, Alan is, as you say, a very polarizing figure. I think a lot of people misunderstand him. He is a centrist Democrat. He's not very extreme on many issues. I'm sure if he explains them carefully to most people, they will understand that. But people, as they always do, tend to read the headline. They don't read many paragraphs into the story. And Alan's usually got some well thought out reasons for taking the cases he takes. And when he explains them to you, it's not such a minefield after all. He's not such a controversial and extreme figure as he perceived to be.
Do you get a sense after having spent this much time with him and filming and everything that you had to do to eventually produce this thing, is he a misunderstood character in American, I don't want to say politics because he's not a politician, but with respect to politics?
I think he very much is. His old friend Larry David doesn't talk to him anymore because he defended Donald Trump. He's not enabling Trump. Trump would be there whether to Alan forward and defend his constitutional principles or not. Alan is a guy who sticks. He likes the character, a politician or not.
Is there something else that we should tell people if they want to see this? And I think this is going to be great. It's something I'd love to see. You're premiering this in Montreal on Thursday?
Absolutely. Thursday, 7 p.m. at Concordia. There's still about 20 or 30 tickets left, so it's still possible to get a ticket to the show if you go online at the Blue Metropolis website.
Okay, and beyond this showing, where will people be able to see
I don't know how this thing is.
Well, we're working on that. It's probably on a Canadian streamer and also in the United States, but we're just in the process of organizing that. So I can't name a name quite yet.
So it's here Thursday night at Concordia, Blue Metropolis, if you want to get tickets. Is Alan going to show up at this thing?
You know, he was at the world premiere in New York and another showing quite recently in Florida, but he won't be here now.
Okay, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's talking a lot in the documentary, so
fair enough. Can I ask as well, with respect to January 6th, how much of that is covered in here?
A tiny bit. You know, Trump asked Alan to defend him in his second impeachment trial, which was all about the insurrection of January 6th, and Alan turned him down. He didn't want to be involved in anything that drew into question the results of the election. You know, for him, Biden won fair and square. He didn't want to be involved in that second impeachment of Trump.
I will ask as we run out of time, and I was going to ask, first of all, with respect to this continued line that Donald Trump and all the MAGA followers have, which is, of course, that there was, in fact, what do we call that again, in the election interference. Does Alan sort of push himself away from that?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that was the core reason why he turned Trump down for the second impeachment trial.
What was the biggest surprise in doing this and covering someone for so long that you discovered in doing this film?
Alan is an incredibly consistent person and sticks with his principles. Sometimes, you know, you get the view, and maybe I thought that slightly, that at the beginning that he was in it for the fame and the money. No, he isn't actually. He has certain principles he believes in, and he believes in standing up for some of the most defendants, and he's done that his whole life. And as well, he's done a pro bono work, good work, like getting Natam Sharansky out of the Soviet Union, which he worked on with our own Erwin Kotler for a decade.
We should find out. All right. Well, if you want to know more, again, Thursday, Concordia, Blue Metropolis International Literary Festival. If you want to go online to get these tickets, you said just go to Blue Metropolis.
Blue Metropolis website, yeah.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really interested. This is something I definitely want to see. Congratulate you for getting it done. Sounds like quite a project, and I wish you good luck with it.
Well, thanks so much, Aaron. Appreciate it.
You bet. John Curtin, Montreal filmmaker, all about the lawyer Alan Dershowitz, very famous. Sounded like Trump there for a second when I said that. And if you want to before it goes into wide release, and when it does, we'll let you know. Let's go to traffic, CKD at 100 Traffic Center. See what's shaking right now. Here's Lauren West. Lauren.
We go slowdowns on the westbound side of the map between BO and Top. We go again between Lackady and the Vicari interchange. We go the Stallings on the interchange itself, right lane currently blocked. Going down the range in delays there, 440 through to King Road, again between 6.
Why do you suck ass?
Typical drive, Morgan to the Latour Bridge. Northbound 13 delays 2 before Cudley, Astonry, Barras, also between the 344 and 640. Busy drive, westbound 20, here comes to Norman again between Morgan and the Elk Road. That's on the Mercy Bridge, you are back in still St. Pierre. With your left, you can do more with buy one, get one free on now until May 6th. Find your local paint store at dulux.ca. Let us know what you see on the road. To Star 800. Your next report and more fun.
All right, thank you, Lauren. It is coming up on 14 minutes before 4 o'clock. When we come back, Harley Dean Itstock, my Charlotte Captain, we cover in-house show.
Okay.
Think
of that.
Stuff, capital gains. And, you know, it's interesting because this capital gains element of the federal budget is probably the most popular part of it. I keep hearing different people weigh in. I heard a piece this morning, or actually, through here this afternoon, from a doctor saying that doctors will be most partially affected by this new change in capital gains. But then I read this notice today, and this is not from the government, this came out from a CRA, Canada Revenue Agency press release. I wasn't sure about this, and I thought Harvey will know. Tax season, of course, around the corner. The CRA today issued a press release for white people who work in ride-sharing or delivery services, okay, through digital platforms. So not if you work for a store, for example, and they're the ones hiring you, but if you're doing this as a job, and you're doing it through one of the online services platforms, you have tax obligations. And I thought, wait a second, is it always like this? I thought before you were considered to be self-employed, how does it work? We'll explain it to you. When we come back.
$329 meal bucket chair from IKEA sounds like. $179 meal bucket chair from IKEA sounds like. You can hear the difference? It's $150 less. Same great products, real lower prices. IKEA. Shop real lower prices on over 1,000 items today. Really? So many low prices. Hi, Carol is all to know. What does that another word for effortless? Simpler, easier. Reflect. That's 2 words. Wait, Michael, are you we've got meals to prepare. Got it. All too long. That's effortless. Register online. You are going in. Place your order. And deliver right to your door. Has what's for dinner. When you want a deliciously healthy meal on the table with vegetables, Home to Go, 8 p.m. Dinner's always ready at Home to Go, HOME.com.
Okay, I'm watching the bad one. It's not great. I'm on control. Are you heading to break? I am in that gas. No worries. We'll just watch the race on the TV. You later with pump in the road. Crash. Run out, buddy. Sorry, you're smart. I'm driving on the TV.
Switch to Bell and get a 500 internet. Your favorite TV channels, including sports and crave, for only $89 per month. Visit Bell.ca to check availability. Bell. Switching doesn't get better. The experts at Protégé Group tested the Mazda CX-5 and CX-30 out on the road in Quebec in good weather and not so good weather. And they were impressed. So much so, they named the Mazda CX-5 and the Mazda CX-30 best in their categories. Looking for performance, refinement, safety, or reliability? Protégé Group's best picks are now available at your nearest Mazda.
Ah.
Focused on more than 400,000 businesses around you. For over 120 years, our dedicated teams have been there for local entrepreneurs, providing guidance every step of the way so they can focus on what matters most, growing their business.
How do we make precision tires? We get to know the people who use them. We travel with them.
Full on freak out.
So whether it's ground controls or systems that put my children right to sleep tires, or me, 2 kids fighting over a bag of ketchup chips in the backseat, or one chip flies away your face copy to suddenly pull over and take a deep breath while asking for Serenity tires. Ask for Yokohama. Be precisely for you.
Hey, I'm Corinne. I got you flowers. Why? We're celebrating spring and the redesigned 2024 Nissan Sentra. It features a bold new front design and is equipped with dynamic driving technology and zero-gravity seats.
Oh, I like a bouquet of innovative features.
Nice. Lease the 2024 Nissan Sentra S Plus from $267 a month for 24 months and get a 3% rate reduction during our spring into sales. Until April 30th. Retail value of $26,917. Down payment of $2,199 on approved credit. Conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
The chase, the challenges, the $1 million prize, those exotic locations, and of course, that unmistakable theme music. A new episode of The Amazing Race, Wednesday at 9:37 Mountain on CTV. The very latest news, reported and discussed. Welcome back to Montreal Now on CJAD 800.
Welcome back to the All the Things I Don't Know About Accounting section of the show, which is why we have Harvey Demas of Montreal Accounting with us there right now. So listen, Harvey, I know and I appreciate you being here today. We kind of trying to find the last minute. I just saw the story this morning, and I wondered because it seems to me in everything I've read, and I don't know they necessarily apply to Canada, because I think most of these stories have been out of the U.S., where people who work for companies like Uber or DoorDash or any of those companies, right, were considered to be basically self-employed and had a different sort of tax rule around it. Now they want to be unionized. Then I see CRA, the Canada Revenue, sent out a press release this morning. It says to warn people who work in ride-sharing or delivery services through digital platforms of their tax obligations. So my first question would be, what were their tax obligations up until now?
Well, the tax obligations were the same as everybody else. If you make money, you declare it yourself as that. You declare the income you receive. 95% of people do self-assess. And you just put on your tax return as your gross income, deduct your expenses, and pay the tax on what's left. And it's kind of ludicrous. This is bureaucracy run amok for some
some reason. I mean, unless you are paying cash, the money is going to end up in your bank account somehow. For example, if you do repairs, the owner of the real estate has to declare your social insurance number and your tax. If you are billing as a consultant, everybody has to record their money. In fact, years ago, when there were people selling on eBay, I mean, the government went into the offices of eBay, got a printout of everybody who was selling, went after the large sellers and forced them to register for that. They could do the same thing for Uber. They can go into the Uber office and get a printout of everybody who was paid by Uber and trace down these guys. So anybody who's making money on the rideshare or delivery who gets paid electronically, and there's a record of either they declare or they're going to get caught. So why do they have to go through this process of forcing everybody to register for a GST account? And then have the people who employ them, like the Ubers or the Lyft, send in the report for them. I mean, this is like to make sure that they remember to pay their taxes. It makes no sense.
Really? Okay, now I'm further confused. When you're working as one of these people, for say an Uber, for example, and you're being paid by Uber, are they adding PST and GST to what you're being paid?
They will. I mean, first of all, this self-employed versus employee, the government wants you to be an employee. That way they get you, unemployment insurance, things. You're going to get all the payroll assessments, again, even though you can't deduct them on your return. So they want you to be an employee, and they will say that if you don't work for anybody else, and you like for full weeks for one employer, and you don't offer services to anyone else, and they supply your tools and everything, then you are a de facto an employee, and they will tax you as an employee and go after your employer to pay all the payroll taxes. If you can show that you work for several services, and you control your tools or your car, then you say, I'm self-employed, and then you have to pay all the payroll taxes yourself, not unemployment, but you pay the double pension, your share and the employer's portion. So the first thing is, are you self-employed or an employee? The next point is, if you are self-employed, then instead of having to declare your income on your own, voluntarily, they're going to ask the Uber people to file a GST report for you, paying a unit GST and remitting it to the government, taking it off what they paid you and send it to the government. And then they have to somehow follow your expenses on your own, whether your gasoline, your insurance, your repairs, your car payments, etc. So, I mean, they can easily find these people by having which print out who they pay. Why do they have to go through this process of having everybody register with an account? And again, if you are a Uber driver, a rideshare, you are forced to register for the GST, even if your billings are under $30,000. The rule has always been that small suppliers don't force millions of people to register for no reason. Don't collect GST. You can claim credit, so that's money. But then you just go on your way. And if you ever do go over 30, that's when you start collecting. And you can deduct your expenses. So you remit the difference every quarter or every year. Now they're forcing everybody who's only making maybe $5,000 to have to file a GST report and get it, to collect the taxes and then send it in somehow a massive shoebox full of expenses for what they paid and then have to try to claim the credit. They're really going after everybody, so it's just a big bureaucracy. I guess Quebec's going to make a lot more money because they administer the GST for Ottawa and therefore they'll get a bigger fee. Oh, by the way, on this capital gain thing that we talked about last time, I forgot to mention, we have a slim hope. We only pay half our taxes to Ottawa. We pay 27% there and 25% here. Maybe if Legault doesn't go a lot, we are only taxed only half as badly as anybody else.
No. Harvey, that story this week, I'm sure you saw that. Did you not see this? Eric Girard, the finance minister, has already come out and said that we will, in fact, follow their lead and apply here.
Well, unless Legault Verizon wants to get some votes.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. No, he said, actually, there's a quote today from Eric Girard saying that Quebec expects, by virtue of the fact that they're going to follow the lead of the federal government here, to raise $1 billion just in this.
Well, that's why everybody's so upset. I mean, if you've been accumulating an asset over many years, and we watch them go up steadily over a year, and I can count on it. Now, they got 2 on that, and then maybe in a couple of years they'll go back to 3/4 like they did many years ago. You never know.
I would just to go back to this thing about drivers and the ones who are working for the rideshare services. This now forces these people who thought this is a way to not have to worry about paperwork at all to start doing paperwork, right?
Well, not on the revenue side. On the revenue side, everybody sees it because you make a payment and everybody can find it. But now to accumulate your expenses, everybody has their own shoebox full of expenses, right? The other thing they bought and all the repairs they incurred and their car lease payments, etc. So yeah, they have to become an accountant, whether they like it or not. Now, there was a saving grace for small people that was called the quick method. So if you don't want to have to be an accountant, you would just collect the taxes, remit them, which is like 15%, but collect them at 15, but only remit 10%, 6.6 and 3.6, and keep the difference. But you don't get any credit, because you get to keep a portion of the growth. But anything that you make on that, the difference between 15 and 10 is income. So you have to pay tax on that 5% anyway. So it's income that you can avoid the paperwork by using what's called a quick method if you qualify, but otherwise, yes, you become a bookkeeper and accountant, and you got to keep all the records.
And was the issue here they didn't want to be classified as employees? They just wanted to be considered self-employed?
Well, no, I think the government wants to make sure they get GST.
No, I know the government does, but the drivers, were they asking not to be considered as employees? Because you think they get benefits if they're considered employees.
Well, maybe, maybe not. I mean, it depends how much they pay in. What benefits? They're not going to get group insurance. I mean, they're not going to get unless they fight for you.
Well, they lose their job, they can collect unemployment.
Yeah,
Really?
In the training, but then the government will say, how can you go apply for a job? And you say, demand. You got to fill in a report for how many places you apply for during the
Right. Right.
Okay, but again, you'd rather be self-employed because you can deduct expenses that employees cannot. You have to travel to and from work, and the supplies that you buy, and the sort of expenses you incur, any meals that you have while you're waiting.
So do you get the sense that the Canada Revenue is kind of nickel and diming right now by going after these people?
They want to make it easy. Instead of having to go visit the offices of Uber and Lyft and getting a printout of the guys who got paid and then go chase them, they want the companies to remit the taxes so they don't have to go and chase these guys.
Harvey, as always, I appreciate your time and thank you for the explanation.
Well, and I'm sorry that we have to pay the capital gains tax.
Yeah. The way
you do more than I do.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you, Harvey. Harvey Dean in stock. There you go. A little information for those of you who are or know somebody in that rideshare business. That's the deal right now. It's coming up on 4 o'clock. James Benny is back. He'll join us next.
Montreal Now, brought to you by Dormez-vous. You know mattress is to blame for those sleepless nights? Talk to a sleep expert, because at Dormez-vous, we solve sleep. The time to switch event is on now.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal, News Talk Radio, 100, and the iHeart radio station.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. I'm Jason Mayoff with a CTV News update. Showers starting late this evening. It's 19 downtown. Weather details in minutes. Here's what's making news right now. Today, is unnecessary. The Liberals jump ahead of the CAC and an arrest in an international conspiracy based in Montreal. For the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Lauren Glazer.
We're having a tough time now for northbound to carry from Sherbrooke up to the top. Also delayed southbound to carry from the top rolled out to Queen Mary. Between Turcotte and the bridge for the westbound side of the 20. Have delays also between Turcotte and Norman. Again between Woodland and Ile Perot. Southbound side of the Mercier Bridge backing into Ville St. Pierre. Also delays on the westbound side of the Met between Lac-Courtier and Tofino. Again between Rockland and the Carry interchange. Earlier stall through the interchange has been moved out. For the westbound side of the T-Can is slowing as well between Morgan and the other. Remind you that when you insure your retail business with good people, you'll be doing the same. Bottom line, benefits and tariffs, it's worth it. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Your next report at 4:15.
In the news, Mayor Benavita says she's not a fan of Bonjour Pie.
The mayor wants greetings. This comes just after a report came out showing that 12% used bilingual greetings in Montreal compared to 4% back in 2010, while French-only greetings were used in 71% of businesses. She says the report worries her and that people come to Montreal expecting French.
We're in Quebec. The only official language is French. We need and we should be offering services in French.
The same study found that 98% of businesses can and will serve people in French. Some argue that adding English on is unnecessary and doesn't make anyone feel more welcome. I'm John Keegan-Fleming.
The CAC is in third place in the latest poll. Functionally goes parties at 18%. The Liberals are in second place at 23%. And the PQ is way ahead of everyone else at 33%. CJAD 800 political contributor David Hertel says there are a few things driving these numbers.
Rise of the PQ, incompetence, and the death spiral of the Legault government. And I think also, there's a whole chunk of this that has to be also caused by Kader's possible entry and the fact that Liberals are now looking at very serious candidates.
The next Quebec election is set for October 2026. The man accused of killing his mother and her neighbor in Vaudreuil-Dorion in February has been deemed fit to stand trial, but Fabio Puglisi will remain detained at the Pinel Institute while legal proceedings are underway. The case returns to court in June. Twice in the past, Puglisi has been found not criminally responsible for violent offenses. The RCMP arrested a South Shore man who was part of an alleged conspiracy to sell Chinese attack drones to one of the factions that was fighting in the Libyan civil war. Sergeant Charles Poirier says the alleged conspiracy by two former UN employees, as well as their plan to finance the weapons sales, violated Canadian law and UN sanctions.
The plan was to sell millions of drones of crude to China without anyone knowing about it. So they constitute a violation of the UN sanctions.
The RCMP says Fatih Ben Ahmed Mouek was arrested this morning. His alleged accomplice and former co-worker at the Montreal-based International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, Mahmoud Mohamed El Sua Sayeh, remains at large. Elon Musk and his X platform, formerly Twitter, are looking to get into the TV space in a big way.
Say hello to XTV. Elon Musk's X platform announcing the Video Player app on Tuesday, saying it'll bring real-time, engaging content to your smart TV. CEO Linda Yaccarino says they're still building the app, which will easily allow users to watch video on their devices and TV. Another post from the company points out that in the last month, people have watched 385 million hours of video on it. It's not clear if the company will focus on creating new content for the video app, filling it with user-generated content, or both, and no word when or launch. Jason with ABC News.
Following you during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say play CJAD 800. Your next CTV News update is at 4:30.
This newscast is brought to you by Custom Move Moving. Are you moving soon? Check out that stress and hire the pros at Custom Move Moving. Free estimates at CustomMoveMoving.com.
All right, let's get caught up on the weather. Lauren Fernandez at the CTV Weather Center. Lauren, I just did an update here. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it's 19 degrees downtown. So please tell me snow is no longer an issue tonight.
Well, I know it seems pretty crazy, but Mother Nature likes to keep us on our toes. So yes, 19 degrees is today's daytime high. It does look like at this time you could still see a rain snow mix tomorrow morning, but it's most likely going to be on the rain
I have
side.
scooter, so I don't know how to
with my more so and overnight, so that could be it could come out as snow. But all this to say, let's talk about today. And so we're seeing a high today of 19 degrees. This is quite above these normal highs this time of year, 13 degrees. Overnight, we're expecting clouds to move in and showers. Now, the timeline of the showers is kind of tricky, but I pulled up my forecast here and I can see actual footage, well, not footage, but a radar and satellite that shows that we see the rain as soon as sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. So if you're headed out this evening, it's not a bad idea to grab an umbrella with you. And tomorrow morning, we will see that rain snow mix potentially. Definitely rain. The snow is the questionable variable here. And winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. We're calling for a daytime high of 10 degrees. Now, it's going to be as if we're dealing with completely different conditions because we're calling for sun and clouds in the afternoon. So it looks like the start of a few hours in terms of rain. And then later into the evening, it should be quite nice. As we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to see lots of sunshine. Thursday will be a little bit cool with a high of 9, but Friday we are seasonal with 14 degrees, and then Saturday, 17 degrees. So, it will be a shortly lived event tomorrow morning.
Take what you can get.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. All right, Jim Manny coming up next.
What the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
That That is James Benny over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, I guess we might as well start with this poll. This would probably be the story of the day, next to Valerie Plante telling us not to say hi.
Well, excuse me, you have to determine right now what poll are you talking about. Are you talking about the Palace survey that dropped about 3 hours ago and contains absolutely devastating news for the local government? Or are you talking about the Leger poll that literally dropped 8 minutes ago and being spun by a Quebecois as, oh, thank goodness, it looks like the CAC has stopped its slide and the PQ is remaining stable in terms of the last poll. So this is what we're dealing with, buddy. It's a total panic city right now, and that's the way I like it, because frankly, I always wanted to be in a sign letter the day I put a paper with a headline with just 2 words, total chaos. That's happening right now in Quebec politics. Okay?
Let me go back to the fight, even though there was this Leger poll, as you said. Okay. First poll this morning had a lot of eyes opening, going, wait a sec, for the first time that I can remember, Jim, since they've been in power, the CAC is not only trailing the PQ, it has actually fallen to 3rd place behind the provincial Liberals. So that, if you pick yourself up off the floor after reading that, you're thinking, okay, clearly there's an issue going on. What's this new one say?
Well, the new one basically says, like I say, it doesn't have, it can say, well, the Liberals have remained in the same position. They have no hard numbers except for the PQ, who are still apparently at last month's heading of 36%, and they're saying that the tax has remained stable, which is, I guess, they're still behind in 2nd place. I think it's 24%. However, it's kind of funny because if there was ever an attempt to try and throw some cold water on the absolute bombshell that this Palace poll is, because on the one hand, I have to tell the Quebec Liberal diehards out there, calm down, please. Okay, you're still polling 10% of francophone voters. This is basically since Paul Saint-Pierre Clement as PQ decided to go full-blown Captain Ahab with this referendum and how French is under attack. People have been scratching their heads.
Right.